Alright, today I'm going to talk to you about the government, the use of the government for social change. Now, for many liberals, that's a key central element of their beliefs, that the government can create positive results by creating social change. Here's the problem. Whose ideas are going to be pushed by the government? Ultimately, a conservative, small government conservatives, believe that social change has to occur within the population and not as a tool by which the government creates the social change because I feel it's necessary. So normally, because when that happens, there's only one political group that feels it's necessary, and the other political group they feel is morally wrong, messed up, whatever. Now, here we go. Let's think about this for a second. What tools does the government use to force social change? You have quotas. You have anti-discrimination laws. You have hate crime legislation which punishes thoughts. You have school systems which push ideology. State-mandated school systems. You have the Federal Board of Education, which mandates what kids are supposed to learn in school. You have any number of tools the government uses to push political ideology upon the population to create a social change. Now, can this be good? Well, in theory, yes, but it also can be bad. And an assessment of what good and bad is, and in this case, to use a liberal term, is subjective. A lot of times the concerns of groups that are demonized have some degree of legitimacy, although what some groups do in the name of those viewpoints may very well be extremely wrong. Here you go. As a society, it's improper to use, this is my viewpoint, as a society it's improper to use the public school systems to promote political ideology. This included promoting racial awareness, cultural diversity, anti-discrimination, promoting sexual behaviors that are not the norm, encouraging children to have sex, encouraging environmentalism, encouraging pro-UN positions, any number of things, like UNICEF, any number of things along those lines. The problem is ultimately that you're telling one group that another group is unacceptable. Let's take, for example, the teaching that homosexuality is okay. Well, if you do that in the school system, what's going to happen is you're basically teaching the kids to say that it isn't okay is not okay. So any religion or belief or group that believes that homosexuality is not normal or is not acceptable will be punished, will be treated as a nearly criminal organization. Let's take an example of saving the environment. Same deal. If the schools yell how the environment's all falling apart and etc., and how we have to do this, that, or the other thing to save it, if you don't think the environment's really falling apart, it's just changing a little, you're basically criminalizing the school system. You're being told you're wrong. So many other things like that happen. Anyways, as a personal note, when I was in school, the big thing was cultural diversity, specifically awareness of the plight of blacks. That was a big focus in my school system. And every effort was made to ensure that we were fully aware of how terrible us white people were. Now, terrible us white people had treated the blacks. There's only one problem. My family didn't even come here until after World War II. The idea that we owe the blacks something just because of the color of our skin was highly offensive to me, bothered me deeply, and I felt very unfairly demonized by the public schools for doing this. Now I see efforts to do similar things in other areas, specifically against my faith in the case of homosexuality, and specifically against common sense in the case of environmentalism. I'm sorry, guys, you can't use the public schools. You can't use the state to force social change. Social change has to occur within the society. Otherwise, you're nearly not all that different from a totalitarian state which enforces a public dogma on the population. Not too far off from communism, which that's what they did. They pushed communist stuff on people, and that's the only ideology that was allowed in the government. Social change has to remain an independent aspect of society. It has to occur within society and has to take a natural course, not forced by use of the federal government. Thank you. Have yourself a good day. And God bless.